Bridge.
Yes, tell me everything.
I realize because we are recording our episodes like boom, 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 boom. And so
we're banging
you and I have obviously talked other times, but Bridge, I think you should talk a little bit about your Narnia experience, because I don't believe you did that yet. And the listeners need to hear of how you got to Narnia. And it wasn't through a wardrobe, but it was on a plane.
Oh.
So
I was like, wait, is this a trick question?
No.
My trip to Canada?
Yeah. Canada, guys, Narnia.
Totally.
They end in It's the same.
I flew into Montreal and then drove an hour and a half north to a place called Montreblanc that someone who speaks French can say better than me. And James drove with the dog 14 hours. Wow. And I flew with Kate, aka a 2-year-old, there. And then Mom met us for the last half of the trip. And we were in a snow globe.
Wow.
There was snow everywhere. I did watch someone slide off the road. I've never actually seen a car slide off the road because something was so snowy.
Scary.
Penny, our dog Penny, who is like a city dog, but we live near Lake Michigan, so we live near the beach. She had never been so used to the woods that she scratched up her paws.
Oh.
Like she has like prissy city paws, and she was like out in the wilderness in Narnia.
Living the rugged life.
Came back in with like bloody paws. You're like, damn, girl.
But do you think she joined the revolution and made friends with a beaver?
Now that I've seen this movie, I'm like, maybe that's what happened. She was in a battle with the White Witch.
She's like, I'm busy, Mom. Like, I'll see you in a day.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so there was a hot tub. We had an Airbnb with a hot tub.
I'm so jealous of that.
And I didn't tell you this part, which this kind of feels sometimes like the story of my life sometimes, but when we were there, we have between a toddler and a dog, like this place was very nice and beautiful, and like I was just trying my best not to break things, and we did break things, and we got Penny's blood everywhere that I had to spot clean up, and then Penny ripped up a pillow, like you just name it. And when we were there, Mom scared the living shit out of me because we were watching a show.
You did tell me this.
Oh, I did tell you this? And then
with
a mouse. There was a mouse.
Okay.
I would have never seen this mouse. Mom was on mouse killing duties. So, but this is the part I didn't tell you. So she was like, you gotta tell him that like there's a mouse because she thinks he was gonna like charge me for the pillow. And
for the mouse? Oh.
No, because you ruined my pillow. It was like a $20 pillow. You know, the guy was like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it sucks. And so she's like, tell him about the mouse because then he won't make you pay for the pillow because you know how Mom is. So the other thing too is on these Airbnbs now, like everyone can see your messages. That's how like you can kind of stay in the loop. And so she's like watching the play-by-play. And then, you know, when Airbnbs are done, you always like write a review, right? And so the guy was nice to me. He was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry about the mouse. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, listen, I don't care, but whatever, you should know about it. And in my mind, I was thinking, I have to write this because Maureen is fucking reading this message. And she's gonna see it.
Oh boy.
So then we write the review, and then I literally just go to ChatGPT and write a bunch of things, and then it writes this beautiful review, and I'm like, here you go. Thanks for the wonderful Narnia experience. And then they review you.
Oh shit. Was he like, this bitch let a mouse in my home and her dog went crazy?
No, literally, he goes, I knocked some points off for Bridget because her dog's hair had shed everywhere. Oh. And we had to do a deep cleaning. Now, you've met Penny. She has no hair. Come on. I was like, oh, that motherfucker thought I was gonna, like, bitch about the mouse, so he, like, came at me, you know, with the dirty dog. No. So anyways, I was just laughing so hard because mine was literally like he was an angel. I was like, this was the most amazing house. It was incredible. This guy is great. You gotta rent here. And he was like, she was fine. Her dog was terrible. I hate her. I was like, motherfucker.
Oh, well. You made it back. You made it out of Narnia. You didn't age 100 years or whatever. Or maybe you did on the inside. I don't know.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, 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 sisters. sisters who've seen it.
Hello.
Hello there.
Welcome back, listeners.
What's going on? How we doing?
Did you just get back from the wardrobe? Okay, because
I think there's some definite, thrift stores.
There's some
garage
coats in there.
sales.
I did think of Macklemore when I saw the coats, and then I was like, and Elizabeth Taylor, is this her coat closet? I don't know.
I love it.
Perhaps. All right, let me introduce ourselves. So, listeners, we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And Mr. Tumnus! Take a sip every time somebody fucking says that, and you're gonna be a dead person. Wow, they love him. He's a celeb.
What did we watch? What year is it? Hit it, Kate.
Oh, I'm doing it? Okay.
Oh, you're doing it.
Okay. It's The Chronicles of Narnia, the lion, the witch, and the wardrobe. 2005. And this was a Disney movie.
Oh, I know.
I didn't know that.
Because I had to search and hunt for it, and thanks to you,
This
I got
Disney
to...
Plus. Well, I'm very glad you didn't pay for it, and you were able to...
well, I kind of did, but that's a whole other story. Anyways.
No.
But it was the gesture, Katie.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I don't know, this is not, you can't go to Disney World and, have a Narnia experience. They don't talk about Narnia. It's, not, I don't know, it's fucking weird.
Maybe, bought it later or something, you know?
I just think I don't know, usually Disney, hypes up their shit, and now it's ironic because they're trying to turn all their animated movies into live action, and it's trash, and I'm like, wait, but this was a live action movie, you don't care about it? Okay, is it because they're British? Tell me the truth. All right, I don't know. I think it's my synopsis, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Yes, okay.
Yes, because I am not, I don't know what's happening.
Okay, I'll bring you in the wardrobe. Okay, listeners. Well, we start off with fucking Nazis and bombing your home.
I was not ready for that.
You thought this was Disney? No. It is, but no. Okay. Forgot that beginning. Jesus. They're in England? Question mark. Okay.
Yeah. London.
And London, it's not safe. There are 4 children. We have Peter, who I guess is the oldest. Susan, who's next. Edmund. Look at my face. Okay, Bridge.
Yeah,
and Lucy, who's the youngest. And these 4 siblings, their mom's like, yeah, so I'm going to ship you off on a train like little Harry Potter, and off you fucking go. You're going to live somewhere. I don't know. You're going to go live with a guy? Is he your family? Nobody knows. Goodbye. I don't know why mom couldn't go. I'm a little worried about her safety and the bombs, but just the children, I suppose. So they go to this guy's place, and they're like, this is weird. We don't know what's happening. And wouldn't you know it, Bridge, little Lucy, while playing hide and seek, she goes in this wardrobe. And damn, it's a big wardrobe because it leads her to a magical land called Narnia. And how do I describe Narnia? It's very outdoorsy.
It's just another world.
I mean, it's another world. Yeah, but it's not there's not cities. It's nature, you know? Okay. It's very naturey and fantastical. And the first thing she meets is a faun called Mr. Tumnus, motherfucker, played by motherfucking James McAvoy. James McAvoy was going for an Oscar in goat legs. Okay?
He really was.
He didn't have to, but he did.
He really did.
And that's a lot. But you get exposition where basically she's like, wow, there's beautiful snow. And he's like, actually, life is horrible because of this evil witch who makes it snow. And Narnia is enslaved. And he's like, oh, you're a human? Guess what? There's a prophecy, because that's what we're doing in this movie. And you're like, oh, okay, that's fine. And she gets out, she goes back, and then nobody believes her, none of her siblings. They're like, you made that up, no way. They try to look in there, it's just a wardrobe, it's whatever. But she eventually gets the fuck back in there. And then Edmund, who's her fucking brother, who is just the worst. I'm so sorry. But am I?
You can't have 4 kids and not one of them be annoying.
Well, and is this
statistically,
is it rude or real that he is a middle child? And we know the struggle.
We know.
So,
by the way, listeners, we are the middle children.
Yes, context clues. That's right.
We get it.
Edmund goes and Edmund meets the witch and she's like, you're a human, prophecy. And then she's like, hey, you want like a little treat? It's totally normal to take treats from older women. Let's do it. And he does. And basically he sells out his siblings and he's like, yeah, I'll bring them to you. No big deal. And guess what? Then all the siblings get in Narnia and it's a whole fucking thing. And the whole plot is basically like Edmund betrayed them and then he like gets enslaved. And then the other siblings are like running with a beaver who's helping them. And the beaver's like, prophecy, y'all are going to save the day. Also, Aslan's here too. We'll go meet him. We got to not die. Let's get a move on. And I guess we'll save your brother. And they're kind of like, that's a lot. We just want to leave. And they're like, well, we have to all fight in a big war. You didn't know? You're 12 and you didn't know you're going to have to fucking fight a war? You are. So buckle up. Aslan's a lion. Aslan is also Jesus.
And Liam Neeson.
But yes, he is both. And what I didn't mention, but it is, I guess, important to know for this movie is this movie has a lot of religious undertones. A lot of religion stuff happening. So I won't spoil the big twist. It's not a twist, but it's Jesus. He's Jesus, okay? Go read the Bible and find out. But then in the end, they defeat the witch, something. There's no more snow. They all get to be kings and queens, even though they're siblings. And that's not how like monarchy works, but fine. And then they live there for years and years and forget their mom. And then they go back through the wardrobe on accident and then they're kids. And that's how it ends.
Like, is there, like, it would have been cooler if there was a fairy dust that made you forget about the real world. Like
I do wish that was part of it, because I was like,
right?
damn, guys, you were like, fuck our mom, like, we'll live here for 50 plus years. And there's no other humans, so, like, none of them got to, like, get married, okay. But it's also religious undertones, so I'm like, I hate it. I don't know. Okay.
That was great.
Thanks. Thank you so
great.
much. Wow.
I read a lot about the comparison between Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and the Chronicles of Narnia.
Yeah.
And like Lord of the Rings is like kind of intense. Like I'm not letting a little kid watch that.
Right.
Harry Potter's like also has little moments of kind of emotional intensity, right?
Yeah.
And Chronicle of Narnia is like, you know, the like light. It's like the crystal light of both.
Yeah. It's
like,
very, very Disney.
The world isn't as dark.
Yeah.
The plot or anything isn't as intense, or you're not as like emotionally invested in the characters of Lord of the Ring or Harry Potter.
Right.
And once I read all that, I was like, okay, I get it. This kind of fits into my brain as like just like the light version.
Even the evil witch, she isn't killing the inhabitants of Narnia.
She freezes them.
She freezes them like Elsa from Frozen, and then they get to unfreeze later, and you're like, oh, so nobody died.
Tilda Swinton is amazing.
She was another one. I was like, Tilda, you're also going for the Oscar. Was this the movie to do that?
Incredible.
I mean, she's great.
She was perfect. I was like, you're perfect.
She's scary. Yeah.
Yeah. So I also shit on CGI all the time.
Yeah.
This was amazing.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, you know.
I read because they blended like the wolves. Sometimes there were actual wolves.
Yes.
And sometimes they were CGI.
Yeah.
And then even the way that they would do like the lion lighting, they would like play around with the lighting so that it essentially like you couldn't see how obvious it was CGI. And that holds up 20 years later.
I thought the lion looked good. I was
real good.
I was like, whoa. And he was very like expressive, you know, because of the dramatic.
And I read that they picked Liam Neeson because he spoke slow, and that would help the CGI like match. Where
oh my god,
if you picked like a fast talking, you know, Billy Crystal, like the CGI is not gonna like match it as much. I was like, whoa, that is so freaking cool.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, I only know how to get into it. I mean, you started off the synopsis, pretty much what happens, and I immediately was like, oh, there's Nazis. Okay.
I had to check and make sure I clicked on the right movie. I was like, am I
It's dark.
stupid? Yeah, I was like, what? And then their dad is like fighting in the war, and they're like, we miss dad. And then you basically see how, like, I don't know, it's like the older brother is like really harsh on the younger brother, and then the younger brother's annoying, and then the older sister has like the worst personality because she's always just like, guys, knock it off. And I'm like,
Lucy was literally my favorite.
She was the cutest.
She was like, y'all are crazy. I'm gonna go explore.
You want to know my favorite scene with Lucy?
Yeah, tell me.
It's when, spoiler alert, Aslan, who is Jesus, dies for our sins, and then he's resurrected. And he looks at her, and he's basically like, all right, guys, well, we gotta go fight in a war now. And Lucy fucking whips out her 1-inch knife, and she's like, I'm ready. And he's like, relax, lady.
He's like, put your headband on.
I was like, hell yeah, Lucy.
Okay. The only so I know we also picked this movie because of like the weather and how
winter,
it's very cold, and there's a white witch, and she makes everything ice, like Elsa, like you said. But they never acted cold, and I was so cold watching the kids be cold, and I just kept thinking, none of them are acting cold. And then the one scene, they were like, you don't need your coats. And I was like, enough is enough. Like, these kids have to have hypothermia. And then it was like they entered the warm land of Aslan.
Oh, no. They left behind their Macklemore coats.
Okay, so
right?
there's Nazis, and then we get on a Harry Potter train. That's literally what happens.
Straight up Harry Potter train.
I don't know how we know where we're going. Like,
we don't.
Who is this person, and why are we in this really old, weird mansion? And where do we go?
So, I don't know. Somewhere where there's not Nazis, I guess. I don't know if this is a relative. I don't know how we got here. The only thing I do remember, because I read this book many moons ago, and clearly none of it stayed in my brain.
Oh, really?
And then
I was wondering if that you
give
me the book take.
Well, there's like a whole series like of Narnia books, and this was the second book of the series, and the first book is all about the whole like light post or lamp post that, you know how there was like, oh, why is there a lamp post in Narnia? Yeah. And it had something to do with the professor guy, like when he was a kid, and it was something like about the lamppost, and it has some significance, something. And then I just remember in this movie, then it's like, well, he's the old guy, and there's new kids, and that's why he's always like, I believe you, I believe you, yeah. But I don't know where we are. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if the kids know what's happening. All we know is now we live in a mansion. Are we going to school? No one knows. How long are we here?
Also, the whole concept of time, have we been here an hour? And then they go to Narnia for 30 years? And then they come back and it's only been an hour?
It does feel like that. I think
the war is definitely still going on when they come back.
Oh, it definitely is. And then Lucy's going to whip out her 1-inch knife and be like, put me in, coach. I'm fucking ready to shoot
I would put them in. I think they are ready. They've been battling for years.
I guess. Now they fucking are. Who the hell knows? Yeah, it's quick, and I don't know. I just don't like how they made some of the characters. Like, I just think Edmund is way too annoying. He's just mean, and then Peter's mean to him, and then that's also mean, and then Susan's just complaining, and I was like, ugh.
Did you think Edmund was mean, or just kind of like a little bit like insecure dummy?
I mean, yes.
Because like mean makes me think he was conscious of it, and I think
I think he was conscious about like the lying when he went to Narnia, and Lucy's like, you were there, Edmund, and he's like, no, I wasn't. She made it up. Like, I was like, that's fucking mean.
But I thought it was because he was like insecure that they were all gonna like make fun of him, and that was like, that's his whole reason he lies or whatever.
I mean, maybe, but I think he's supposed to just be like really, really selfish, is like how he's supposed to be, because even when he's like, well, yeah, give me some like treats, and then fuck yeah, I'll like sell out my family, go team.
Yeah.
And then Lucy's like the opposite, where Lucy's like, la la la, I love it. I just met you and I love you, Mr. Tumnus. Hey,
I just met you.
This is crazy. It really is a little crazy. And God, Mr. Tumnus, what to say about Mr. Tumnus?
If you are going to do a drinking game, guys. How many times does Casey say this name?
How many times I say it? How many times they say it? Like, it's just so many.
By the way, I know he's supposed to be like a goat or whatever. Or what is he supposed to be?
He's a
like,
fawn.
Fawn, sorry.
Fawn.
Okay. He literally just looks like himself. I don't know how it's possible.
Does.
Like, can you imagine if you had like deer legs, like hooves, and I still was like, that's absolute Katie.
And you're like, you can't fool me.
And then I'm like, in another life, was he? I don't know. You know, so
I mean, maybe.
Oh, well, okay.
He is a shirtless Mr. Tumnus. He does wear a scarf. He very quickly is like, Lucy, come on down to my home and let's have some tea. Now, Bridge, we've talked about this with other kid movies because this seems to be something that comes up a lot is I don't think these kids have the best stranger danger, personally, because Lucy's kind of like, sure, let's do it. Sure.
She was down.
Pour me an open container and I won't look at you while you do it. And same with Edmund, where he's like, yeah, I'll hang out with you, lady. Let me sit up close.
Horrible.
And here we go. And feed me things. Like, it's just is not good. And Mr. Tumnus, like, you kind of do think, well, he's very friendly. He's very nice. Like, we like him. We think he's a good guy. And he, I guess, like, is a good guy. But he also then drugs her. Hypnotizes her with his flute music, which, by the way, is definitely the same music they play when I get a massage at Hand and Stone. Don't think I didn't notice.
Wait, do you get such a good massage that you start to see little people dancing in the
fire?
Yeah.
I wish. And then she wakes up and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And she's like, whoa, what the fuck? It just happened. Like, what? And he's like, well, I just like told the witch you were here because you're human and, you know, but I realized that's wrong. So now I'm going to help you like go home. And she's like, okay.
Exhausting.
I was like, what the fuck? That's weird.
Exhausting.
And then that's when everyone's like, you made it up, Lucy. There's no way you went there. And then Lucy cries.
Which is fair.
It's fair.
I'd be crying too.
I did love the scene with the professor where he's kind of like, you guys like suck as a family. He's like, it's not working. We better like get it together. And then he's like, why don't we believe Lucy? And they're like, well, because like there's no way. And he's like, but has she ever lied? And then they're like, no. And he's like, facts, evidence. And then even with Edmund, where he's like, does he lie? And they're like, all the time. And he's like, I was like,
he felt like a Harry Potter character.
Yeah, he did. Well, that actor was in one of the Harry Potter movies.
Was he?
He was Professor Slughorn, who comes in like the 6th movie.
Oh, he definitely.
Yeah, he looks pretty similar too.
But he also didn't have that big of a role. He was kind of like, he would pop in and out and then leave. They didn't have this, like, the typical arc of, like, you know, the journey, right? The narrator's journey, whatever they call it. The hero's journey. You know, they didn't have this, like, wise magi to come in and help them. And so that was kind of interesting because they were all just finding their way. So honestly, I feel like Disney could make this a ride because it did feel like I was on a ride. I was like, okay, now we're in this part.
Yeah, it was
and now
quick.
We're in this part.
Yeah.
And now we're in this part. Oh, now it's warm. Now it's cold. Now there's ice. Now I was like, holy, now there's a lion. Okay, whatever. There's centaurs. What? Centaurs follow lions? Okay.
Bridge. Yes, Bridge.
Okay, I don't know.
They fucking do, apparently.
All right.
I have read, and I don't know if this is still something that may or may not happen, but there was a lot of talks that they were going to make a Chronicles of Narnia series for Disney Plus, and Greta Gerwig was gonna direct it. Greta Gerwig from Barbie. Woo!
That would be great.
I think this would do so much better as a series because I think the problem with the movie is it just like you're going so quickly, so it's kind of like the characters don't have time to like be normal people, so they're just like kind of stereotypes of themselves because we have to get to the plot and we don't have time to get to know Professor because now we're all in fucking Narnia and we're wearing Macklemore coats.
It absolutely felt that way because the person who wrote the book, who was C.S. Lewis, he took 10 years.
Oh my
to
God.
write all these.
Jesus Christ.
So it's like,
it's a lot.
How do you put that in a movie? Of course you're flying. Like it felt that way. Okay. So then they're like, okay, we are bad as a family, as you say.
We are.
And maybe we'll check it out. And Lucy's like, yeah, just come. If you don't believe me, just come. Okay. They don't turn into Macklemore. They do end up past the light post.
They do.
And now they meet beavers.
The The beavers.
What?
Talking
Why do we have
beavers.
sexism? Why is the woman... Why is there, like, toxic...
Why
like,
is there patriarchy in Narnia?
Yeah, why?
Maybe we need a queen to fucking whip us into shape. Jesus.
And listeners, what we're talking about is that the mom beaver always feels like she doesn't look good.
And she has to cook food. She's making all the meals. I don't...
She's like taking food on the journey for them. I'm like, well, and then what? You're a beaver. What do you mean? You all look the same.
This is just another moment, though, where I'm like, but is this, like, where the, like, religion, like... stuff comes into play, consciously or unconsciously? I don't know. But they are like, we're good. We were friends with Tumnus. He's like totally kidnapped. Sucks. Let's tell you more about this prophecy. And they're like, whoa. Beavers. Talking beavers we can handle. But prophecy, get out of here. And then Edmund literally fucks off. Nobody sees him. And he travels through the snowy forest, and as Bridget said, he definitely gets hypothermia.
And he doesn't even look cold.
Doesn't look cold, and he gets to the witch's castle, and somehow, like, gets there without dying, or anyone attacking him, or his siblings knowing. And what? Questions. I do like, though, how pretty quickly the witch, like, when he sees her there, she, like, turns, like, right away. Because when you first met her, you're kind of like, I don't know, like, she's not, like, outwardly mean to him. She got him some sweets. I mean, we heard she's evil, but we haven't seen it. But this is where we see it. Because she's literally like, why the fuck would you show up here without your siblings? She goes, did your siblings die? And he was like, no. And she's like, why aren't they here with me, with you?
She even, like backhands him, too.
She fucking slaps a kid. That's evil.
Like, it was as if she had a glove. She took it off and she slapped him.
Yeah.
But she didn't. It was her hand.
Sure fucking did. Yeah. And her whole
Elsa's
little...
thing? Like, what is her little saber? Like, what do we call the little ice... Like, what do we call that?
Like the ice javelin that she has?
Yeah, what
looks like
that?
A javelin, bro. That's like her magic. That's what she turns everyone into stone / freezes them with.
Impressive.
Yeah, and so there's like a lot of dead things around, and then she's just like, fucking lock them up, whatever. She has wolves as her police. I don't hate it.
Badass.
I think it's kind of cool, honestly. I'm like, well, all right, I like it. That's what I envisioned Penny was. Penny was like the leader of the wolves in Canada, Narnia.
James joked that she found her Jack Dawson in the woods. Okay. You know, she was just like, I'll
never let go. Yeah, and then basically, like, now it turns into the other siblings are trying to, like, get away from the wolves. They're going through the fucking forest. They don't know where the hell they're going. The beavers are there, too. We do meet a cute little fox. He's fun. He ends up getting frozen later, but he
helps. He saves them.
He does.
Cutie, your little foxes.
I love them. Yeah, he's cutie.
By the way, guys, fun fact. Do you guys remember the Fox Racing brand? Like the biking, the BMX?
People don't forget.
Because Katie was obsessed and had stickers everywhere and clothes, and you didn't do BMX, but you loved the Fox Racing brand.
I told this story, I think it was in our Pen 15 episode, that I used to wear Fox Racing brand shirts, and then one time a girl called me a poser because I didn't do BMX and I wore that shirt. And I was like, it's because I like foxes. I'm 12.
You're like, wait, but I love foxes.
Yeah,
so am I a poser?
I just like the fox. I don't know.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, this fox fucking helps him out. And they basically get to a point where they're like, we gotta cross the frozen river. It's crazy. For no reason at all, somebody brings up the fact that they haven't had Christmas. I'm sorry. Can we focus?
We have bigger fish to fry.
There's Nazis in the real world. There's a white witch. Like, who cares about that?
Nowhere is safe.
Apparently we care because they run away thinking it's the White Witch. And Bridge, who the fuck is it? Did you know? Did you know who that was?
No, who was that?
It was Santa.
What?
Bridge, that was Santa. The man in the sled with the reindeer and the sack. That's crusty
God.
Santa.
I was so confused. I thought that was just like another...
just a random guy.
Well,
he wasn't dressed like Santa, but he's supposed to be Santa. That's why Lucy goes, random. Yay, presents, when she fucking sees him. And I was like, oh no.
Wow.
Could you imagine in Lord of the Rings if like a fucking Santa appears and then Aragorn's like, we don't have time for your presents?
It's so random.
We got
that's I'm telling you, that's the light. That's the crystal light of all these.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the presents that Santa gives Bridge are, dare I say, a little inappropriate.
I'm like forgetting. Yes. They are. They are in A Christmas Story, a Red Ryder BB gun.
You shoot your eye out in Narnia.
I will. You definitely don't, Narnia. That's for sure. Kids get knives.
Holy
and
shit.
bow and arrows. And swords.
He does a whole like monologue for each one. And he doesn't even question like, where's your brother? I got shit for him too. Like everyone's like, we don't really care. Peter gets a sword. Lucy gets her stabby dagger and a little potion that heals people something, and then Susan gets a bow and arrow as if she fucking knows how to use it. Like nobody knows what to do.
Honestly, when they were practicing, Lucy could throw that little 1-inch knife pretty intense compared to the bow and arrow.
You know what? She probably should have led the fucking army. Okay,
I was thinking that. I think she kind of should have been the leader.
I think they even when it's the end and I forget who it was. Somebody was like naming them all where they're like, this is King blah blah, Queen blah blah, and they gave him like an extra name. I feel like they were like Queen Lucy the Valiant. And I was like, that's the best one, because everyone else's was stupid.
So fun
like
fact.
Susan's was like Susan the Gentle, and I was like, boo, it's a lame one.
So the author had a granddaughter named Lucy, and like wrote about her. So I think that's why she got like the best plot, because he like was basing that off of a real person, which is pretty cool.
Was pretty cool. But somewhere in here we escape wolves. And then there's no fucking snow. And then Bridge, we go meet Jesus.
Oh, God.
Aslan.
Okay, I loved him,
Jesus.
though. So first of all, if you're gonna be a king of a town outside, you gotta have a circus tent where you live, right?
You know what?
Because that was so
Lying
weird.
in a circus tent. This is what we're doing. I love it.
God.
Better than a fucking, like, I don't know, weird church thing. Yeah, they just got a whole bunch of tents and there's billions of weird creatures and it's just normal, guys. And there's Aslan and he's like, hey, I'm old. And also there was a whole subplot where they're like, he was not around, but now he's around. And I was like, okay, what is that? Did Jesus do that?
I guess we didn't know Jesus at like 4 years old.
Yeah, like did we, like he just like materialized? I thought Mary was there. Who's Aslan's mom? Okay, I want to talk to her.
Nobody cares. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? Aslan's like, oh, your brother Edmund literally betrayed everybody and he's a bitch? We'll just go get him. You know, it's really not that big a deal.
I literally love that he was like, listen, what's done is done. I'm like, oh, well, that's one way to handle it. I mean, he was basically gaslighting them.
I feel like that was supposed to be like, confess your sins, Edmund, to me, Aslan the Lion. And I was like, ew, no.
I know you mentioned it was really religious, but I didn't notice it as much until he died. And then I was like, oh, this is absolutely. I think if I would have remembered that part, I would have thought of it more, but I really didn't.
They do call them, because I guess there's no other humans apparently in Narnia, so they call them son of Adam and daughter of Eve. And I was like,
gross.
You know the word for human, just call them humans. Don't be weird, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Edmund's back, and then we see weird montages of the children, you know, practicing, training with their weapons. None of them are training with trained professionals, so I don't really know what good that's gonna do, but fine. It's fine.
They knew how to ride horses.
When did they get on? Yeah, like, I'm sorry.
And by the way, so my funniest fucking thing in this whole movie was when Edmund was like, let's go, horse. And he was like, my name's
Philip.
My name's Philip. The horse yells at him and says, I have a name, you dickhead.
You dickhole.
That's something I want to happen in real life. Like, I want people who ride horses to get humbled like that.
The horses be like,
I'm actually Sandra. Okay,
like,
respect. Put some respect
on my name. Yeah. Oh my God. Well, okay. So we got all that. At some point, Peter kills a wolf.
Well, so first of all, Liam Neeson, Aslan was like, hey, Peter, you're the king, man. You're the king.
Just you, even though we're going to give
Simba.
Edmund...
Get it together, Simba.
I mean, basically.
All right, let's go. You're the king. He's like, I'm not the king.
Hashtag remember who you are. Yeah.
So then the wolf was really messing with him, and then he was like, this is Peter's fight. Like, we have to see him actually fight. I think that's when they let the wolf basically charge at him, and he just kind of got lucky because he had his sword up.
I feel like he just stood there and the wolf killed itself.
It did. And,
and then everyone's like, good job,
itself.
Peter. Yeah, I was like, is this a white man falling up again? Oh no.
And then Aslan was like, it is done. You are now king. I was like, wow, this is great.
That would have been really awkward if he literally got murdered in front of Aslan and all those friends. But
oh man,
yeah. But pretty right after this is the witch rolls up with she's got a whole gang of I don't fucking know other weird shit, and she's like, "Hey, you got a traitor, and did you know that apparently our land has magic laws?" And
oh my God. It's like the
you
Bible.
broke the
now
law.
You're thinking of me.
Yeah.
It's like Job 22, section, chapter, verse 4. If a traitor happens, I get to kill him.
This is the exact moment I hope that if somebody came on this podcast episode assuming we were nuns because it's his sisters, I hope you realize we don't know what's happening.
Sister Mary Clarence has entered the building. But she was funny. She was like, these are the rules. And then Aslan's like, fine, I'll fucking play your game. And then they like have like a long chit chat.
What were they talking about for so long?
It was like, I mean, Aslan played chess. I mean, he played the long game, right?
I think so.
Crazy.
And he doesn't tell anyone. He's just like, it's all good, y'all. And everyone's like, yay! And then the witch leaves. And then that night, Lil Lucy, the only one who's got a little brain tick-tock working, everybody else is fucking sleeping. She's like, uh-oh, where's Aslan going? I guess I'll wake up my sister because
it has his location shared. I mean, she is following Aslan.
She's got the GPS monitoring.
She really does.
Only her and Susan go and follow him, and he's kind of like, hey ladies, what up? And they're like, Aslan, what's up? And he's like, you could walk with me for a little, but then he's like, no more. And I was like, oh, but they're gonna keep going and you don't stop
they're probably
them?
gonna follow you. You don't walk fast.
I feel like You're
just kind of like slowly gallivanting through the forest.
Sure. So like
so they kill him? She gets to just murder him?
She gets to murder him.
But then the secret rules are, if you murder someone out of nowhere, and then they land on the stone, 3 days later, they come back to life?
It was something like that, but I think it was also like, if you murder someone who's like purely good and hasn't done anything wrong.
Yes.
Which is, I guess, Jesus.
Ugh.
I guess. I want to point out, because I've never had kind of take notice of this before, but this time I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Susan and Lucy witnessed that, and that's trauma, and that's terrible, and then they're sad, and that makes sense, and I get it. At one point, Susan's like, well, Lucy, we did just hear that these bitches are gonna start a war tomorrow. It's like, we got like a couple hours. We gotta get back.
Yeah.
We gotta do it. And Lucy's like, no, we don't. The trees can tell them. And then, like, I guess we do that, and we do tree magic. But you just would have thought, like, okay, while that happens, you guys are still gonna go and help, right? No, Bridge. The two women.
I know.
See where I'm going with this?
Sit it out.
The two women.
That's like Mary Magdalene. They stand
not
outside
go to war.
The cave.
Yeah, we're just sitting around, futzing around, and they could have fought. Like, Susan could have helped. Lucy had a knife. I just didn't love it. And
wasted potential.
It is wasted potential. And then Aslan's like, hey, I'm alive. And they're like, whoa, crazy. And he's like, yeah, ride on my back. And like, we'll get there.
Okay, but that was cool.
I mean, it would be cool to ride a lion, I think.
Like,
I would have
if
fun.
the lion came back to life and you're like, Mufasa, what? And then it's like, get on my back, we're gonna ride, I'm down.
And then right when, like, there is a big war, and I mean, again, I kind of was like, I don't know these characters. There's like a centaur guy that I guess is like, I'm supposed to care about, but I kind of don't. And he's there. And then Peter magically doesn't get murdered in the first 2 seconds. Not believable.
I will say,
fine.
Peter, like, held up. I mean, he was fighting the White Witch, like, no joke.
I guess.
Edmund, not so much. But Peter was holding his own.
Edmund got shanked in like 1 second. And I was
well,
like,
Edmund
you're a liability.
Edmund's like, okay, I'll be nice to my brother and I'll try to save him. And then he almost dies.
Yeah, it's true.
Ockies.
And it just, I don't know. It's a lot of CGI fighting and that's fun. And then, yeah, Aslan rolls up and he's like, I'm going to kill this bitch. And he does. Is that in the Bible? Does Jesus bite somebody's face off?
I don't know, but it was...
Which Mark, Matthew, Luke, or John book is that?
Maybe the first one. I don't know.
Oh,
but it was absolutely great.
It was good.
I was like, Aslan, about time. You can't be a king and not get your hands a little dirty. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
You do gotta murder, especially like it's war. So like somebody's dying. Oh my God. Also, I love during the war scene where the little beaver had a little armor outfit on. I was like, who made that? I love it.
But it was adorable.
It was really
even your point on trying to go for the Oscar, like Tilda Swinton that was like incredible, like Kill Bill fight style.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
She's rocking it.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's frozen. Then Aslan comes back. Everyone's like, hot diggity damn, we won. He kills the White Witch, and then everyone melts?
Yeah, I think Aslan can melt people, because he did melt Mr. Tumnus at one point.
That's
right. Yeah,
they
they went to, like, the witch's castle, and they unmelted people.
That's right.
And then they used them for battle. And, yeah, and then they win. And then Aslan's like, now you guys are in charge. Gotta go.
Bye.
Walking off into the sunset.
Into the beach.
Don't ask.
Like he's going on a honeymoon.
Mr. Tumnus is literally like, he's leaving Lucy. Like, he'll be back whenever. And I was like, whatever. What?
Oh, is that also like Jesus? Like the second coming? Oh.
I don't know.
Wow, you're making me think of it a lot now.
Jesus is Aslan. Aslan is Jesus.
I mean,
and
I prefer
God
a lion,
is
if
the
I'm
professor.
gonna be real.
Yeah, I mean, I would, I don't know, I'd worship a lion, I guess. Like, wow, that's cool.
Well. How did these kid actors hold up, Katie?
The acting was fine. I just didn't like the writing for a lot of them. Lucy was the best one. She was the best one.
Lucy was the best one. The rest were like a little doofy.
Yeah, like that's why I think if this ever got made into a series, I think their characters would end up being better, because I'm sure there would be more normal people that are like fleshed out and not just like...
You could dig deeper into backstories and motivations and not be so like surfacey.
Yeah.
Because they would look at each other and be like, Lucy.
Yeah. Yeah. And even when they get back, because they like, again, they spend, it's got to be at least 50, 40, 30, I don't know how many years we're in Narnia.
Oh, well, I thought they were like 30, so I was going to say like 20. But whatever, who cares? They were old.
They're fucking old.
And honestly, like, can you imagine going through war and puberty, and then you gotta like go back and be young again and have like Nazis? What?
That sucks.
I'd go back in the wardrobe.
I mean, I think that's what Lucy tries to do. And the professor's like, sorry, girl, it's done. Now you're going to turn into me. And you're going to help other children probably. And the next one, I don't remember. I didn't read the other book, so I don't actually know what happens.
Wow.
There was another movie. There was a Narnia movie. Caspian, Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian, something C. Yeah, I didn't watch it. I don't think it did great, but I mean, this movie I think was like pretty popular when it came out.
It made a lot of money,
but it just didn't like. I don't know. It's like there's no merchandise of it at Disney. Disney doesn't give a shit about it, so it just kind of like fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, it made a ton of money. It got a lot of awards for best like makeup and wardrobe.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I think it got like a lot of respect there, but. Yeah, I don't know. The rest of it, I don't know,
Yeah. Well, Bridge, would you watch or don't watch Narnia?
Watch it. I think
are you gonna watch it with Kate at one point?
Maybe, but it is like a little... It feels more like an 8-year-old.
Yeah, like... Yeah,
6 to 8 vibes.
Yes. For sure.
And also, kind of like, we're doing that. We're doing Lord of the Rings. Like, we're going to do a little bit more, like, impressive.
Age
I don't
11.
know. I've been spoiled.
Age 11, started with Lord of the Rings. She can go on the same journey that I did. I'll give her the books. It can become her Bible.
Yeah.
It's great, you know? Yeah. It all just makes sense.
Totes. How about you?
Would I watch it? I'd watch it, but, like, it's, I don't know. I want to watch it as a series. I like this.
That. Put that energy out there.
I will. Greta, are you listening?
She
Greta?
Definitely. I mean, they all listen, obviously.
It's for you. So. It's for you, Greta. We love you.
Obvious.
All right, Bridge. Well, it's my pick. And we're staying in the 2000s, but we're not staying in Narnia or with Nazis. Okay. We are going to 2002. This movie is rated PG-13, so it is not as light and fluffy. There is murder.
Oh,
but it's not scary.
All right.
It is entertaining. And I believe this movie won the Oscar. Yeah, this won the Oscar for Best Picture, which is awesome. I like this movie. I like this movie a lot. And when it came out, I was 11, and I don't think at that age I was like super into this genre of music at the time, but
interesting.
I'm into it now. Bridge, this is a true crime, comedy, crime, and musical. It stars actors and actresses we've had before.
Huh.
I don't want to say who, so I'm just going to read
I was going to say, did we hint at this? Okay, maybe I know.
I might have talked with you about this. Bridge, two death row murderesses develop a fierce rivalry while competing for publicity, celebrity, and a sleazy lawyer's attention. Bridge, we're watching
Chicago.
You're out of here.
I'm excited.
I love Chicago.
I have never actually watched this.
What?
Like, through and through. I've seen random bits and pieces. I've never actually sat down and watched this whole thing.
Have you been watching the more recent, like, TikTok trend where everybody does the, oh yes, they both, they both reach for the gun. There's, like, a dance that everybody, like, does. It's so funny.
Oh, my God.
I can't believe you've never watched this. I watched this a lot.
Really?
Yeah, like, a lot.
Which is not very you.
I know. That's why I'm like, what's going on?
I didn't realize. So the Oscar went to Renee Zellweger.
No, the whole movie. The movie won Best Picture.
The whole movie got it.
And there were other wins. Let's see. Can I find it?
Oh, I'm ready for it.
It did win. It won like a couple different things, though. It won Best Picture. Best Actress in a Supporting Role, Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Ooh.
Best Art Direction, Set Decoration. It won Best Costume Design, Best Film Editing, Best Sound.
Wow.
Okay, that's all it won. But they had a lot of nominees. Like all the main... Queen Latifah was nominated!
Wow.
John C. Reilly was nominated. That's weird. Renee Zellweger was nominated. They didn't win, but like, yeah. This is also still running on Broadway. I think this is one of those shows that they just always have running, but they keep changing out who the people are in it. Yeah.
Oh, that's
like
cool.
Pam Anderson was in it once. She was Roxy Hart, who's Renee Zellweger.
Excuse me?
Yeah,
I'm watching that.
She was like on Broadway one time doing it.
Wow.
And I want to say now it's like Jinx Moon, who's a drag queen.
I don't know.
Might be
I love it. I love it. Let's do it. You're getting me hyped.
Woo! All right. Well, Bridge, just want to say, if little Kate comes to me and she says, Auntie Kay, I was in a wardrobe for 20 years and I'm the queen and there was a battle and Mom doesn't believe me, I will be like, I believe you. Let's write about it and make it a movie. We're going to sell it to Disney. We're going to make it a series. Okay. Yeah. We will sell it to Disney. And can you get me in there too? Can I go in? How do we get in? And then we can bring your mom and give her a Macklemore coat. And I would do that I do it for Kate, but it is for you.
It didn't feel like for me since I didn't believe my daughter, but I would believe her and I would instill your help.
Believe her.
Okay?
Okay, I love that.
But I'll tell you this, Kate. If the roles were reversed and you want me to wink wink not believe, so wink wink you could be the hero auntie,
Oh,
I
yeah.
would wink, wink, play along for you.
Wow.
Yeah,
maybe
'cause I love
maybe
you.
all of us would just believe, and then Mose would be the one that's like, guys.
He'd be like, he's like an engineer. He's like,
He's
that
like,
makes absolutely no
You're
sense.
talking about talking lions and what?
like, what?
No way.
Guys, physics. It's not physics. Okay, science.
And listeners, if you also would, we've said it before, we'll say it again, believe women, believe 7-year-old women who are British and talk about Mr. Tumnus, believe them. And if you think that, why aren't there religions that we just like focus on lions, Maybe there are.
I'm sure there
are. Are super
there
ignorant.
are.
We don't
the
know
world
anything.
is big, yeah.
Yeah. And if you think that, I don't know, I would like talking animals to be a thing, especially the horses to bitch at their riders, because we all know they've got stuff to say, Like that would be fun. That'd be a fun time. If you think all that, you should write us a review. We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts along with some other podcasting apps. And we also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. On our website, you can request a movie. So there's a form you can fill out. Your request goes on a list. And we look at the list every now and then. And we will do it eventually. It's cold. Guys, got any cold movies? Put them on there. Okay?
It's
It's very cold. I'm sure it's cold. It's
here.
probably way colder where you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no. And Bridge, what else can they do on our website?
Give us money.
Woo!
We will take it and create the Narnia series with
We
Greta
will.
Gerwig.
Yes.
Also, you could buy merchandise.
Woo!
We are selling Macklemore coats on there.
Oh God, get
At
them while they're
least
hot.
Minimum $3,000 a
Yes.
pop, but they're fake fur. Okay?
They don't come with Narnia.
They don't come with the closet. But
No.
you can have the coat and pretend you're going.
That's
Okay.
right. Yeah.
Enjoy.
Yes. So check all that out, listeners, and we hope to hear from you. All right. Well, we'll see y'all next week for Chicago.
Oh,
that's my jazz hands right
I
there.
love that. I was feeling
yeah.
that.
Thanks. Wow.
All right, listeners. Bye-bye. I love
Bye-bye.
you.
I
Get
love
lost in
you.
Narnia. Bye-bye.
See
Don't
you there.
trust your brother. I mean, bye-bye.
Oh,
Love
remember
you.
Mr. Tumnus. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswhoseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.